Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Vic Chow, and it's my pleasure to welcome you to the Sony exhibit here at CES. When it comes to the creator's intention, Sony empowers content creation not just for consumers, but for a variety of commercial providers as well. In fact, unlike most other companies here at CES, Sony even has a professional solutions group that is solely dedicated to addressing a number of important professional applications. And to tell you more about this today, it's my pleasure to introduce Theresa Alleso, Sony Vice President of Imaging Products and Solutions Americas. Please welcome Theresa Alleso.
Thank you, Vic.
Thank you so much.
Hello, everyone. It's a pleasure to be here. As Vic said, at Sony, we have a professional solutions group. That's the division I'm a part of, and it's often referred to as the secret side of Sony. Despite the many content creators we work with, the average consumer doesn't even know we exist. Yet, without a strong backbone and technical team to support creative workflows, most of the digital platforms and services you see here would have never reached the market. Sony has been helping content creators connect to their respective communities for decades. Motion picture, television production, broadcast news, gaming, just to name a few. And all of this begins with providing creators exceptional entertainment. Sony's resident expertise can be found in a variety of content being produced today. Everything from music videos to reality TV to popular talk shows. Even in the broadcast evening news, we come into your home, all shot on Sony cameras, as well as news magazine shows like Entertainment Tonight and Inside Edition, also captured on Sony studio cameras. And Netflix, who produces features, series, documentaries, unscripted programs and specials across all genres worldwide, they're using Sony's Cine cameras and professional monitors on shows such as the hit series Haunting of Hill House. All of these content creators utilize the latest Sony technology to bring their vision to life. This includes renowned director and producer James Cameron, whose company, Lightstorm Entertainment, is currently using Sony's new Venice camera system. They're using Venice as principal photography on the upcoming Avatar sequels. The first Avatar movie also used Sony professional cameras, broke box office records thanks to compelling storytelling and stunning 3D visuals. And according to James Cameron, our new Venice camera delivers the most astonishing images he has ever seen, thanks to its flexible shooting modes, scalable output options, and unprecedented dynamic range. Let's take a look.
I've enjoyed shooting with the Sony Cine cameras for 19 years, but I'm really looking forward to shooting Avatar 2 and 3 with the new Venice camera.
When people go to Pandora, we want to transport them to a world far away. We need a camera that will live up to the beauty of Pandora and the image it creates.
The Venice camera delivers the most astonishing image I've ever seen. You get incredible dynamic range, you get perfect color. I mean, this is a stunning, crystalline, clear image.
They heard us. They heard what Jim wanted in a camera system, and they were willing to take their state-of-the-art Venice camera and conform it to Jim's needs. What we have found with Sony is a partnership that goes beyond just the Cine universe. We are using Sony cameras for all of our reference of our performance capture on the stage. We're using Sony for time-lapse photography that we are doing because they've heard us.
They listen to the filmmaker in terms of what features a filmmaker might want in the camera, and they'll go way out on a limb. I know that they're going to deliver the engineering. If they say they can do it, they will do it.
Pretty amazing stuff. Jim has been an outstanding partner of ours for many, many years. But at Sony, creator intent means a heck of a lot more. It also requires using innovations like Venice to provide a deeper understanding. an understanding of benefits associated with a particular product, service, or platform. I'm not sure if any of you have been at the North Hall yet at CES, but you'll see a number of electric vehicles on display, including the new Audi e-tron, which according to the experts has been designed to raise the bar in both battery efficiency and autonomous mobility. As a pioneer, Audi needed to convey the new e-tron's driving experience in the most engaging way possible. When it came to producing a commercial to tell that story, they chose the Venice camera system. Just watch. However, in today's world, content creators come in all shapes and all sizes. This includes Gen Zs and millennials who have a completely different take on acquiring content. And to help empower this next generation of creatives, Sony teamed up with nearly a dozen schools last fall across the United States to launch a new future learning collaborative. The goal here was to foster a much more candid exchange about the role technology plays in advanced teaching and learning. One of these schools, Montclair State University, has established a strategic alliance with Sony. We built for them a renowned school of communications with state-of-the-art studios, giving the students that attend Montclair unprecedented access to professional-grade broadcast, production, and video projection equipment. And speaking of projectors, providing a deeper understanding also means offering consumers such as you the most advanced displays possible, which is why Sony has led the way in 4K digital cinema projectors for well over a decade. If you've been to see a film at a local theater in the US or anywhere around the world, most likely it was shot and coming out of the lens of a Sony digital projector. More theaters have installed our 4K projectors globally than any other brand. And when it comes to the latest micro display technology, Sony's new Crystal LED features a completely modular design. It can be sized to meet virtually any need. And it also delivers 8K and beyond resolution, along with incredible HDR performance, outstanding peak brightness, superior black levels, and over 1,000,000:1 contrast ratio. This makes CLED technology ideal for the most demanding applications, including Fox Sports, who, after a successful test at the World Cup, recently installed it for principal display on their sports show, Lock It In. It's one of the reasons why CLED has generated such incredible buzz this past year at trade shows all across the industry. Take a look.
It's never seen anything like it before, so I mean, it definitely does a job of getting your attention. Yeah.
Well, I just walked in the door, and all I can say at this point is, wow, that's pretty sharp. That's amazing.
You know, what Sony's done here with CLED is just outstanding. They have revolutionized the entire idea of what imagery is supposed to look like.
It's flawless. It looks, I don't even know what it is. How'd you guys do it?
I don't even know what size the panels are. I see no edges.
Yeah, it's totally seamless.
I was trying to find those edges, and I couldn't see. I cannot see the connections between the screens. So it's nice, very, very nice.
Really makes all the other LED walls and video walls, really puts them in second class.
It's impressive. The color depth, and yeah, wow. It's really impressive.
Blown away at the clarity for how large it is. I'm really impressed.
Oh, I think the sharpness and the clarity of that screen's awesome. I didn't see any edge there. I thought it was just a rear projection screen. It seems to be all very well connected. No lines at all.
We thought it was a projection screen is because you couldn't see any edges. You couldn't see the modules like you see on the other ones.
Yeah, the blacks are really very impressive. It's nice to see something like this that isn't projected. It's beautiful. It's yeah, really, really quite stunning. Just the black levels great.
It will really allow us to do some things right that we're not able to do right now.
Very eye-catching. We're standing way too close and it still looks amazing. It's awesome, awesome product.
It's amazing. It looks like one single image.
All I can say is damn impressive.
And it's the beginning. That's the most exciting part of this. We are just the beginning of where this is going to take us.
So seeing is believing. We have Sony's CLED wall over here to the left, so after the presentation, we'd love you to take a look. Finally, providing content creators with powerful solutions also means delivering real-time critical information. And perhaps the best use of this is in the world of professional sports. Over the years, one of Sony's key partners has been the Philadelphia Eagles, who won their first Super Bowl in franchise history last year. Very tough pill to swallow for this New York Giants fan. And during the season, they evaluated our 4800 high frame rate 4K camera and put it through its paces. Its super slow-mo feature helped overturn a critical on-the-field call that occurred in the NFC East Championship game, which helped ensure the Eagles' trip to the Super Bowl. Let's take a look of some of the 4K highlights.
Hey, good to see you as always. Welcome to Eagles Game Day Kickoff.
So how important was the quality to the overall fan experience? According to the Eagles' head of production, it was nothing less than a game changer. But the best critical information example of all may be NASCAR racing, where decisions are made in milliseconds. Sony Hawkeye worked closely with NASCAR to develop a new digital inspection system. We tested it at 4 racetracks last year. It utilized 17 Sony cameras, 8 Sony projectors for a more accurate scanning process. So what does this exactly mean? It produces a unique 3D heat map for each car, creating a more level and competitive racing environment. Here's a brief look at the application.
I think if you go back and look at kind of the evolution of the inspection process at NASCAR, it's been one of sort of taking advantage of the technology of the time. The implementation of this new inspection technology at NASCAR is more of an evolution than anything of a step change in what we do. When a vehicle's rolled into the tent, the first thing we do is it starts a scanning process. There's 8 projectors, there's 16 cameras around the outside of the car, and there's 1 underneath it. The projectors will project a pattern of lights and dots and lines onto the car that the cameras will then track. When that's all said and done, which is about 30 seconds, it's not a long period of time, the cameras have then been able to create what we call a point cloud. So we effectively have created a 3D point cloud that if you were to just look at it on the computer and rotate around, would look like the surface of the vehicle. We then take additional steps to align that to the CAD model, and at that point we will then compare the difference from the points to the CAD and color them different colors, if you will, depending on how far away they are from the tolerance. Not always did we have a whole lot of team involvement. Often it was the opposite of that. It was NASCAR going off and coming up with new ways of inspecting the cars to the rule books, and I think that this is a pretty big departure from that, in that, I'd say at the tail end of last year, we were working with 3 teams, but in reality, we were working with just about the entire garage on the Cup side to figure out, not if we're gonna do this, but hey, this is coming. Because it's coming, what is the best way to implement this so that we implement it in a way so that we don't surprise them with how it's going to be done, and that once we do it, it's not a case of where they say, well, why are they doing it that way? If by chance something were to show up at the racetrack this year that, say, did not meet the tolerances that we talked about, the teams will not get on the racetrack in practice until they go through that system and pass the scan before they're cleared to be on the racetrack. We don't want people to fail. So we want to incentivize teams to show up with cars that they know can get through the system. Any team, big or small, that wants to come down here and see where their car stands, we've offered that up free of charge. We've had well over 100 appointments in half-hour blocks that in the last 2 weeks have gone from 8 a.m. until 5 p.m. without stop.
So that's another good example of how Sony's working constantly behind the scenes from a technology perspective. So as you can see, Sony has a number of new exciting solutions cooking in the kitchen for content creators when it comes to offering exceptional entertainment, deeper understanding, and critical information. No matter which Sony innovation solution they choose, all of them have been designed to deliver the ultimate consumer experience for you, just the way these creators intended. Thank you all very much and have a great CES.
Thank you so much, Teresa, for providing such a great overview on Sony's various professional solutions. For more information about the rest of our exhibit, be sure to download our Sony Events mobile app. Plus, don't forget that you can share your experiences in the Sony booth with #SonyCES. Thanks so much for your attention and enjoy the rest of the show. Thank you.